Hi, Algebra 1. Today we're talking about the vertex form of a quadratic and how to graph it. The vertex form of a quadratic is in this form: y equals a, and in parentheses, x minus h squared plus k. The point h comma k is the vertex, and your equation of the axis of symmetry should be x equals whatever the h value is, so the x value of the vertex. Let's start off with number 1. Y equals x plus 4 squared minus 2. You are asked to give the axis of symmetry and the vertex of each equation. So our vertex here, we're going to change the sign of this right here. So instead of plus 4, it's going to be negative 4. And the y value of the vertex is this k value, negative 2. We do not change the sign of that one. It's still negative 2. The axis of symmetry is the x value of the vertex because it's a vertical line, goes through that. So your axis of symmetry is x equals negative 4. Let's look at the next one. Your vertex, the x value of the vertex is going to be the opposite of what's in the parentheses. So this was negative 3, so the x value of your vertex is going to be positive 3. Now here's a problem. We don't see a plus k. We can add one in. We're going to do plus 0. So our y value of our vertex is 0. Our axis of symmetry is the x value of the vertex, which is 3. So it's going to be x equals 3. Next one. Change the sign of what's in the parentheses. So your x value of the vertex is going to be positive 5. The y value is negative 4, that k. And then the axis of symmetry is the x value of the vertex, which is x equals positive 5. Okay, this one's not in vertex form right now. It's actually in standard form, but we can make it in vertex form by writing it like this. Because it's just x squared, it's really x minus 0 squared plus 3. So your vertex is 0, 3. And your axis of symmetry goes through the x value, x equals 0. We're going to spend the rest of our time talking about how to graph in vertex form. This first one has an a value of negative 1. That's that number in front. So let's write that down. Our job is going to be figure out the vertex. That goes in the middle of your table. And then we're going to use, again, Desmos to get the rest. So hopefully you've been using Desmos on graphing in standard form. We're going to use it again today. Your vertex here, we need to look at the h and the k. So this is in vertex form, so our vertex here is negative 2, positive 7. That goes in the middle of your table, and we want the x values surrounding it. We talked about that last time. So we want to do negative 3, negative 4, negative 1, and 0. Now we'll go to Desmos to get the rest. And by the way, we know that it's going to open down because the a value is negative. Okay, let's go over to Desmos. In your browser, you need to go to desmos.com. And we're going to start graphing. And go ahead and type in your function, please. After you type it in, it's going to look like this. Remember, we want to get the table, so we're going to click this settings button here, and then click table to get the table. If you recall from last week, we want the vertex to go in the middle. So in the middle, I'm going to put negative 2, and then the y value of the vertex is 7, which we know from earlier because this is vertex form. We're going to switch out these x values on the left for -3, -4, -1, and -2. Sorry, not -2, 0. 0 will be the next one. Okay, and it's got these lovely 5 points graphed here, which are the same 5 points from my table. Awesome. Okay, go ahead and go back to your notes, please, and write this table down. Your table should look like this. This is what we want. Notice how the 3 and the 6s are mirrored around the vertex, which is what we want when we have a quadratic function. Let's answer some questions. Because the a value is negative, it's going to open down, and the vertex will be a maximum. We know that the vertex is going to be at -2, 7, and the axis of symmetry is going to be x equals -2, because that's the x value of the vertex. Go ahead and graph your 5 points, please, from the table. Once you have your 5 points graphed, we want to connect it with a smooth parabola. Our axis of symmetry is here, down the middle. That's our line of symmetry. So x equals -2. Domain never stops from left to right, so domain is all real numbers. The range is how it is stopping or starting vertically. So we're going to look here, it's at +7 and then down. So that is y values less than or equal to 7. Increasing and decreasing, we want to use our axis of symmetry to help us. It's going up from left to right and then down. So it's increasing on the left side there. That's when x is less than -2. It's decreasing on the right side when x is greater than -2. Because -2, look right here, is your x value. Moving on to example number 2, we're going to start by getting the vertex because that goes in the middle of your table. Remember, you can do a +0 here. Your vertex is this x value in parentheses, which we change the sign of, so +1, 0. The 3 is not part of the vertex, that's the a value. So a is +3. Just to remind you, that is not part of the vertex. Okay, in our table, that means that we want to have the following values, 0, -1, +2, and 3, because we want values that surround the vertex. Okay, at this point, I need you to hop over to Desmos again. And please go ahead and type in your function. You should have the following whenever you type in the function. Make sure, please, that you're using the squared one, the squared button, which you'll find here, because otherwise you won't get a parabola. Okay, we want the settings button again because we want the table. Fantastic. We know that the vertex needs to go in the middle, so we're going to switch that out. We want 1, 0 in the middle. And change out your y value, your x values. Tell it what you want. We want 0, -1, +2, and +3. Now, if you look at your your y values, they should be symmetrical, 12s and 3s. Great. Go back to your notes, please, and copy that down. You should have your table. We're going to graph first this time. Graph your 5 points. Now, here's the thing. I understand that 12 doesn't fit on the grid. If you would like to extend your grid a little bit so that you have 11 and then 12, that's perfectly acceptable. I understand that the grid is not quite big enough. Graph your 5 points, please. So I went off the grid a little bit because of those 12s at the top. Connect your dots. Awesome. And you should have a smooth parabola. We're going to answer some questions now. The parabola opens up, and you see that in the picture. You also know that because the a value is +3. It has a minimum because the vertex is at the bottom. The vertex is at 1, 0. the axis of symmetry goes through the middle of the parabola, which cuts through the vertex here in green. Your axis of symmetry is the line x equals 1. Domain never stops from left to right, so all real numbers. Notice the arrows. And the range, the range is at 0 and higher. So our range is at y values greater than or equal to 0. Okay, last thing, increasing and decreasing. Think of it like a roller coaster. It's going down and then up. So it's increasing on the right side when x is greater than 1. It's decreasing on the left side when x is less than 1. We're going to skip the last example, example number 3. If you want to try it, you go ahead and try it. But we're going to skip that one for today. Thanks, guys.